The following PowerPoint presentation will be looking at the evaluation into a client to eventually give a prescribed exercise program to. We will first look into the client screening, which will look at the client details, initial consult notes, pre-exercise screening tools and results. We'll then look at the needs analysis, which is focused on the client's goals, game demands, anthropometrics and fitness characteristics of the client's sport of netball. We'll then tie this all together to discuss the action plan and recommendations for which the client will undertake to begin her fitness testing to prescribe an exercise program designed to meet her goals. The client is a female who is aged 20 years old with a weight of 59.4 kilograms and is 101 centimeters tall. She has a BMI of 20.4 kilograms per meter squared. She is also a full-time student and works part-time at her local supermarket. The client hasn't had any hospital visits and is not on any medication. The client sought out an appointment because as of 2015 she has moved up 2 divisions in netball and wants to improve her ability to continue to play at this level. Her position is goal attack and also wing attack in some other games. In the initial consult, we discussed prior exercise history as well as her current physical activity status. The client has played netball for 8 years and played a variety of sports including tennis and t-ball. She started attending gym at 16 years old and also participates in fun runs such as Bridge to Brisbane. Her current physical activity status meets the recommendations of a person that leads an active lifestyle according to the Department of Health and Ageing. She currently does netball twice a week as well as 2 days of resistance training and 1 day a week of running. The client's goals are to improve cardiovascular endurance, which will enable her to keep up with the new level of game intensity, increase jump height, which will help her to intercept passes and shoot for goal, also to improve sprint speed, which will help with short bursts of energy across the court, especially in wing attack. The client screening tools that we used were an informed consent, which the client signed. We used the QUT EMS forms to obtain basic client details, which were discussed in the last slide. We also used the PARQ, which is a brief 7 questions focused on the cardiovascular disease risks. It is also very easy to administer. The client answered no to all questions on stage 1. We then used the adult pre-screening tool. This is more comprehensive than the PARQ. It is designed to identify individuals with signs and symptoms of underlying disease. The client also answered no to all stage 1 questions. We then looked at the Fantastic Lifestyle Checklist. This screen encompasses the physical, emotional and social components of health believed to be relevant to mortality and the quality of life. Our client categorized as good in this checklist. She also presented a low-risk classification for coronary heart disease according to the ACSM guidelines. Netball games consist of 4 15-minute quarters. Netball teams may consist of up to 12 players and 7 players on the court at any one time. Training loads may vary according to the time of season and the number of games played each week. A league competition may involve a single game per week, a weekend away tour, or a week-long tournament with potential multiple games per day. Netball players are generally above average height. Lower body fat levels can be an advantage in improving for agility and speed and with assisting movement off the ground. The client being evaluated plays both goal attack and wing attack. Goal attack is a shooting position in netball, and it is suggested that height was an advantage for netball players, especially for shooting positions, as it aids in skills such as shooting for goal. Centre court players with positions such as wing attack provide an important link between the defence and goal thirds of the court, and therefore utilise other characteristics such as endurance and speed rather than height. At an elite level, netball is fast-paced and skilled. Considerable demands are placed upon anaerobic energy systems, with aerobic fitness assisting recovery between bursts of play. Chad and Steele study showed centre court players use the most anaerobic power for short bursts of activity. A high level of aerobic fitness is needed in netball players, not only to endure an entire match, but also to facilitate in recovery after performing repeated short bursts of activity over an extended period. This is the main goal of the client, and fitness testing will be heavily focused here. They also need strength, for example, leg power, in order to aid in assisting sprinting and jumping height. It is extremely important for netball players as the development of strength and contractile rate of lower extremity muscles will facilitate performance during short bursts of speed or during elevated leaps to receive or intercept a high pass or to rebound a goal. The sport also requires agility and ball handling skills. To test the client's goals, we are going to be using a variety of tests. Firstly, we will be using the vertical jump to measure leg power and jump height. The client's highest jump distance of 3 attempts will be used as an indication of muscular power of the lower limbs. This test is extremely important in her attacking position. If she increases her leg power, not only will she increase jump height, but also improve her sprint speed. To test for sprinting, it is recommended to use a 20-meter sprint test. The client will sprint over 20 meters and times will be taken at 5, 10 and 20 meters. The client will get 3 chances to do the sprint test with a 3-minute rest recovery in between each one. To test for cardiovascular endurance, we'll be using the shuttle test, or otherwise known as the beep test. This test is a specific maximal test related to the sport. The client will run back and forth between 2 lines spaced 20 meters apart in time with the beep sounds from a disc. Each successful run of the 20 meters is a completion of a successful shuttle. We will also be testing for baseline measurements. All these are field tests and are easily administered and cost effective. In summary, it has been seen that comprehensive screening process enables practitioners to stratify risk and prescribe safe and effective exercise. Our client, who is a female, is 20 years old. She also presents a low risk for any coronary heart disease and her physical activity status meets the recommendations. Her goals are to increase jump height, sprint speed, and cardiovascular endurance for netball. Testing will be based on the needs of the analysis of all her goals. We'll be using the vertical jump test, the 20-meter sprint test, and the beep test to test for all of these goals that were just listed. Please see the references on the next 2 slides. Thank you.